Good day, boys. Suffolk Graham here from Rant Nerds.
Zabermoul.
Welcome to episode 231 of the Rant Nerds podcast. Rapidly approaching our Christmas podcast.
200 and what?
231.
It baffles me every time. There's so many podcasts. It's insane.
Well, we started back in 2013. And
2013.
yes, 2013 we started. August 2013 we started. And we were originally monthly, and then we went to, when we started live streaming it very shortly, that's where we started basically doing it bi-weekly. We had a couple bits where we faded for a few months, but then came back.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we are sort of like, we've been consistently, I think, every fortnight for the last few years. It's been
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
We just have the.
Bit of cider.
Oh yeah, that's your poison of the night.
Yeah, I've got just my usual Magnus cider tonight.
Oh yeah, that needs to be like a regular thing. Today's poison is.
Yeah.
I have a Tuborg Classic.
Tuborg Classic.
Yeah.
What's classic about it?
The taste.
Fair enough.
It's old.
Just out of curiosity, look, see, you can't see my webcam, but I can see yours. And that can looks quite small. What size can is that?
That's like 33 centiliters.
Is that sort of like your standard size for beer in Denmark?
We have two sizes. We have this, and then we have like a 0.5 liters, so 50 centiliters.
So we
close
have
to a pint.
Yeah. Because we're awkward and we only sort of halfway went towards metrication. We have two sizes for our beer cans. We have pint size, which is 568 milliliters. Then like your standard size is 440 milliliters. That's your standard size you buy from anywhere. They'll generally sell it. You have to generally if you buy a big pack, that'll be what the size you get in it. Unless you buy if you buy a 4-pack, it tends to be the pint can size usually, but it does vary by quite a bit.
Your metric system is messed up, dude.
Well, it's because we did it half-heartedly. It was like, metric, yeah, great. Metric's really good. It's great for lots of things. But let's keep
That's
the miles
not it.
per hour.
That's not it, Ram. That's not it. It's because you're greedy. It's like all these metric systems, we need them all. Let's adapt all of them.
Yeah.
Everything is messed.
Yeah, let's have all the measurement systems out there. Let's have imperial and metric. And just to be awkward, use a different imperial. We'll use a different imperial system to the Americans just to be awkward.
Yeah.
Because nothing tallies up. Nothing agrees. It's just a mess. We never really properly went for it. We should have done. And it would be a lot easier if we had. Things would be a lot simpler if we had. But and just in day-to-day life, you meet people and they'll muck up. My experience of work, because I work in DIY sector and so forth, and my experience with people is they absolutely muck up Imperial anyway. They can't use Imperial properly anyway. They'll come in and they'll ask for something that's 36 inches instead of 3 feet. It's like, well, you measure in feet. It's 3 foot. It's not 36. It's just 3 foot. Or they'll ask you for 3.25 inches. No, it's 3 1/4. You don't have 0.25. You don't. Decimal inches is not a thing. You know, Americans I think now have decimal inches, but we don't have that. It's all quarters, eighths, 16, 30 seconds, 64ths, because it has to be fractions.
Do you have people coming from different parts of the country that use different metric systems? So this part of the country, people usually use miles. This part of the country, people use kilometers. This part, it's inches. This is centimeters, and so on and so forth.
I wouldn't say location specific. I would say it's industry specific. So if you got someone who works in engineering and stuff, will probably use metric most of the time, and will talk to things in metric. But your average Joe, in my experiences, they'll tend to switch to both systems. Like builders. Builders are a good example. Builders tend to do all their kitchen fitting and stuff in metric. They're like, 600mm units, a 500mm unit, a 3-meter worktop, that sort of thing. However, they'll happily buy a sheet of 8 foot by 4 foot material as well. So, because that's the thing is, all our basically when they switched over, rather than really changing things, they just literally like went to the nearest metric measurement to whatever we already had. So, an 8x4 sheet of wood is sold as 2,440 millimeters by 1,220 millimeters because that's the nearest measurement 8x4. Yeah, it's all silly. So hence the beer. Beer cans are sold in pints as 568 milliliters because that's the closest to a pint. You know, they could have done it to a 500 and just made it easy. But like milk's a fantastic example. You'll go and you'll buy milk, and you'll buy milk basically in like pint, 1.2 pint, 4 pint, but it won't be on the label. It'll be to the nearest litre size, so it would be like 2.2 litres because that's the nearest to a 4 point.
That's messed up, dude.
It's mental.
So what I was trying to get at when I asked the question is, so you could end up having a teacher in school or different teachers in school that use different, systems or whatever you call it. Like,
I think schools in general teach metric. I think most schools teach
Okay.
metric.
Okay.
Imperial tends to be from the fact that it gets passed down, and so forth. You know, it's because it's been passed down from like parent to children, parent to children. It gets passed down. People get just exposed to it all the time.
All right.
But I say most people don't use Imperial properly anyway.
Yeah.
It's just I just don't know why it feels fine at small stuff, but as soon as you deal with anything big, it's just a nightmare when it comes to measuring things. But it's like we're such a hodgepodge system. So, for example, you go to the petrol station, you'll buy your fuel in litres. You'll buy it in litres. But you'll drive on the road. And you'll drive in miles per hour,
Yeah.
and your car is measured in miles per gallon rather than 100 kilometers per litre. It's so, and I mean, there's still some old measures. So, I've noticed now more manufacturers like cars now list their car's power in a mixture of, because the correct what you should use is kilowatt power, but they actually measure in, most cars still measure somewhat in horsepower, but you'll get both measurements generally. But most manufacturers need to push towards. You tend to find that anything in my experience, most engineered stuff tends to point towards metric, and like cars stuff tend to be all measured in metric and stuff, but it's still the old boys basically still using Imperial. And it's still, I mean, I'll just give you another example. If you go in and you want to buy if you want to buy like a 5mm screw, 5mm screw, if you want to buy that in Imperial, it's a number 10. But what does the 10 mean? It means nothing. It's just, I want number 8, please. That's a 4mm screw. It's basically double whatever it is in Imperial. So number 8 is a 4mm screw.
Yeah.
It's everything is so complicated.
The fact that you as a person has to you have to know these things, so therefore you have to, like, otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're going to buy these screws and you don't know the measurements. Either you need to know the measurements or the number. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Messed up.
basically, yeah. I mean, that's where my job comes in, as translating and converting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always annoys when people say, "Oh, it says 150 centimeters. What's that in English?" That was 150 centimeters. We've been technically a metric country since the 70s, so it's 150 centimeters. If you want an old money, it's 5 foot. In old money, that's what it. Oh, it's just an absolute nightmare from start to finish. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
We've got a board cutting machine that works we'll cut people's boards size. Trouble is, it's a German-made machine, which means it's all totally in metric, which is fine. But someone will come to you, they want something cut to, but all the zeroing, so you have like a 0 point on it, which is where you measure from, and so that'll be set at like a third of the way into the machine. So the idea is you'll have a slide rule which you slide to a stop, and that'll be to the left-hand side of the 0 point. So you say you want 50 centimeters cut off a board, you'll set that to 50, and then you put the board in, lock the machine at the 0 point, and they'll cut you lovely 50 centimeters, nice and easy. And then you have like a 1 meter slot and a 2 meter slot, so you can like add a meter on each time to cut it on. That's fine, but that slide goes up to only about just over a meter on one side, which means if someone then comes in and asks for something in like more than, which a meter is roughly 39 inches in old money, so 3 foot 3 inches roughly. So someone comes along and wants something like 48 inches, you have to convert it to metric, otherwise you will not be able to do it on that machine because you'll just have to guess it.
Yeah.
It's Oh, Zaber, it's a nightmare. But in my day-to-day life, I use metric for pretty much everything. I'll measure all my sub measurements are done in metric.
All right.
When I fit up my kitchen, I just work in metric. It's easier. It's so much easier than imperial.
We went full out lazy in Denmark. It's like meters and kilometers, liters.
Yeah.
And then that's basically it. We have certain things that was like when it comes to inches as well. Some of the measurement stuff we can get, you can turn them around, and then it's inches on one side and centimeters on the other one.
That's normally because a lot of hardware stuff is made in the States, so you just put both measurements on it.
Yeah.
Or it's sold. It plans to be sold in the States as well, so it has both measurements on it. I'm unusual. I own a tape measure which is metric only. That's very rare to see. Most tape measures you buy have both measurements on it.
That's a good way to screw with your neighbor. If they come over, hey, can I borrow your measure? Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, I've done
Good
that
luck
to
figuring
people.
that one out.
I've lent it to people, and they've come back really confused. I don't understand this. All right, we'll prepare to learn. Yeah, I envy not having to deal with an outdated ancient system, because the trouble is, have you ever tried I suppose you've been brought out of metric. You don't have the joy of having to add different measurements together.
No.
In imperial. So imperial's fine. So that if you want to add, say if you're adding 6 inches to 3 inches, that's fine. If you want to add 6 1/4 inches to 3 1/8 inches, that's when you have to get the maths out. 'Cause that's when it gets awkward and complicated. Because really, I still believe that fractions are only taught schools simply for the fact that we still use imperial measurements. Because the only thing I can think of that uses fractions still. Everything else is sort of, decimal based.
Yeah.
I mean, just out of curiosity, actually, did they teach fractions at school when you were at school?
Yeah.
They did. Okay, fair enough. Well, at least you can work. So you can use imperial measurements. Congratulations. You'll be fine if you come over here to be a builder.
I can't remember any of the shit they taught me in school, dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So even if I was taught all this stuff, I don't know how to do it no more.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to. Everything is dumbed down. Like lazy mode, Danish mode. We love it.
There's a lot to be said for lazy mode. It makes life easier.
Well, it does, and then you can focus on other shit that actually matters.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's my rant on the metric and appeal system over.
It's a rant. It has to be done, dude. It has to be done.
It's a random tradition to have a rant every now and again. It is a random tradition. So, have you been up to much, Zaber, then?
Not much. I haven't actually played much of any games. Because I've been setting up a new mic.
Tell us about your new mic.
My new mic is awesome. End of story.
You all probably notice he sounds a lot better this time.
Yes, and I used it for the first time yesterday on the games night, and it's good. I mean, this room here, well, you can't see. Well, you can see on the time, but this is a tiny room.
Oh, I can see you. You can't see me, but I can see you.
Well, I can see you right over there. I can see the stream.
But you see me as a delay. I can see you live.
Yeah. It's cheating, but yeah. But yeah, it's not acoustically treated, and yeah, I'm not gonna. The other condenser mic I had, which I haven't actually used for anything that we've done, I think there's too much echo going on, too much ambience and stuff in this room. Getting this one, which is the Shure SM7B. It's a microphone that a lot of podcasters use. It's a very popular mic. But it's I can't remember what the hell it's type of microphone it is. It doesn't work like a condenser. There's a name for it. I can't remember, but it works different. So it doesn't pick up as much. It picks up a wee bit, but not as much as the other mic did. It's awesome. It's having especially someone like me that loves quality. This is perfect.
And it's so nice to hear these sort of like deep, sexy Danish tones come through.
Oh yeah.
So our listeners will be able to enjoy that from now forevermore on both this and Games Night. And yeah, the
Yes.
audio and Games Night that sounded really good. I've nearly finished editing what we recorded last night. I've nearly finished it. I've got like 18 more minutes to edit, and then that'll be done. And so I'm ahead of
That's
the
the
game.
thing. I had yeah, you are like you were like behind at one point, and now you're ahead. That's awesome. Um, and I even ran into a little bit of issues with the setup here because I've been used to using what the hell is it? What is it? This. I've been using this, the headset I've been using.
Yeah.
It is an Astro A20. It's a great headset. Sounds amazing. The microphone is decent for what it does. And it was originally bought to be used with my Xbox.
Yeah. For like, online gaming and stuff, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
perfect for online gaming, but it's not perfect for podcasting or slightly better quality.
Yeah. And my audio interface has just been used to record guitars and stuff like that, not so much microphones. So I went into a little bit of an issue after we'd recorded yesterday's games night because I figured out, hey, because I was checking up on the quality of it, and I was like, hang on a sec. Why is my dialogue only in the left ear and not in nothing in the right? So I started getting the video footage into a editing software, and I could see that there was like it was a stereo track where my microphone was only in the left side. So I started checking up on it online, and I could see, hey, you got to change it from stereo to mono, otherwise it will do that when you have two inputs. So so yeah,
Oh dear.
that's now been sorted because I haven't been using this for this type of stuff before. I've always, when I used to stream back in the day, I used the Audio Technica condenser mic, which is a USB mic, and that just works by default. One track.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was luckily it was an easy fix. I've had a lot of issues with left-hand only tracks on the last few edits. I've solved the issue now. I know what the problem was. I've fixed it now.
Yeah, because I noticed it on some of the videos that was getting uploaded, and I wrote you, was like, dude, I think something wrong.
Translation, dude, you fucked up.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I could feel it coming through the text.
No, I didn't. I was more like, hey Ram, I'm just,
just to let you know, you fucked
letting you know
up.
that there's an issue, and you can handle it or not. That's up to you.
Luckily, the issue was it was literally a setting, one single setting that I had to. Trouble is, I've learnt my lesson now. I tend to edit with normal speakers, not with headphones, because I try and avoid using headphones if I can, because hearing damage and that sort of thing. I try and avoid using them too much, only when I need to.
Yeah.
So I tend to edit with normal speakers, which on normal speakers you can't really tell that was only on the left hand side. You can sort of tell if you listen out, you can just about hear it. Put headphones on, you can tell it instantly. So what was happening was when I was actually not noticing what was happening. And basically, just simply the track had been set wrong. Just literally, it's just a drop down button, changed the track, sorted it, re-rendered out, re-uploaded it, job done. But yeah,
that's a lot easier for you now, huh?
Yeah.
Since you got your fibre, didn't you? Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I'm now full fibre. Yeah, that's so. Put it this way, right? I uploaded. So my sister does YouTube as well. And I edited her videos, so I uploaded 3 of her videos for yesterday. They are 10 minutes long each, HD, fairly reasonable bit rate. Uploaded them. So normally, that would take me about 30 minutes to upload those videos, if they're about 10 minutes
per
long.
video?
No, total. About 30 minutes, play 35, something like that. How do you think
3 videos?
For 3 videos. How do you think it took me to upload them yesterday? Or Monday, sorry.
6 minutes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
30 seconds.
What dude, that's sick.
Watch it go. It's just like,
The
fucking
processing
hell.
takes longer, yeah, on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. I couldn't because normally I sort of like start loading and I'll go and like click a little edit button. I'll set, I'll do like all like add the end sequence and that sort of stuff, all the editing bits as I go.
Yeah.
And I could normally I can do all that and walk away because normally when I upload like the game Rando's games nights, I'll set them uploading and I'll go have some tea and watch TV for a few hours and come back because they're going to be going for at least couple hours to upload those. So
Yeah.
I'm so used to having to just like, oh, I'll get all edited, all the stuff sorted out before I go. I couldn't keep up. They're uploading quicker than I could actually change all the settings on it. Rando's, the last 2 videos I uploaded for Rando's took about 10 minutes to upload. The
Dude,
whole
that's sick.
that's yeah, it is yeah. And I downloaded. I thought I'm going to play a game, so I downloaded a game the other day. It was like not a huge game. It was like about 4 or 5 gigs. That took about 20 minutes to download.
Yeah.
It's like normally I'd have to go away and leave that for an hour or two. It wasn't slow by any means. Just, it wasn't like you were away for days. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember once when I was at university downloading GTA Vice City through a mobile phone connection, and that took 26 hours to download. I just left it go for. So I was used to slower connections and so forth. I will put up with them, but no, that's incredible. How did I live with not this speed for so long?
I miss my fiber, dude. I totally miss my fiber.
Yeah. But then to be fair, you're still getting, compared to the average UK person, you're still getting a lot better speed than the average UK person.
Oh yeah.
So,
So I can only, measure myself with what others have around me.
yeah. So I did a speed test of mine, and I'm around about both up and down 900 meg is what I'm sitting at the moment.
It's disgusting, dude. Disgusting. Disgusting.
For the first, I said to say it's the first time in my life I've been faster than a Danish man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I don't like it.
No, of course you don't like it. For once, the Brits have got something slightly better than you. For one time, one thing we do slightly better is I've got a slightly fast internet connection. The first time we haven't because normally you listeners, you don't hear the conversation me and Zaber have off air. And normally it's like, yeah, we do this in Britain. And Zaber comes on and tells us, oh, in Denmark we do this, this, and this. Like, that's so much better. That's just it's so much more sensible. It's just incredible.
It's a Danish way. We're just born cocky,
Born cocky and lazy is what you're saying.
Yes, both.
It's like it's
the Danish way. Well, even with naming things, we were lazy. There's like a long ass beetle in Denmark. Yeah. It has like a lot of legs.
Like a millipede.
I don't know what that is. I don't know any of the, when it comes to these things, I don't know any of the English words for it. But the Danish one, roughly translated, it's called thousand legs. Because that was just the easiest way, there it is, thousand legs.
I can't fault that as a naming scheme because people tend to say, there's a breed of sheep, it's up in Scotland, and it's got white wool, and all it's like, so the wool part's white, but the rest of it's black, and its name is the Scottish blackface. So we are similar sort of obvious naming things.
Yeah.
No, it's just, what I say is to people, Denmark is to UK what UK is to America. America's the hellhole. You just don't get anything. You're just treated like shit from the day you're born to the day you die, unless you're rich. Hey, you've had a slight bone break. Good news, it's going to bankrupt you. Yay! I was saying in the UK, but then you hear what Denmark do. It's it's almost like they sort of in the UK you get sorted out. Denmark, it feels like they sort of come round with grapes and hand feed you every day. By the sounds of it,
they do. I have a mate that comes around 3 times a day and feeds me.
Yeah. That's all paid by the government.
I don't. Yeah, it's all government issued. Yeah. No, I don't have a mate. I wish I had though. Maybe there's someone in politics that I can have a chat with that
Yeah.
can make that shit come through. I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
We used to we used to, I remember when we used to have a cleaner at one point. We used to hire a cleaner, and people used to look at you like,
What?
you have a cleaner, but
Well, you posh bastard.
well, people say that, but she came in like once a week, did like a detailed clean for a couple of hours, and charged us 20 quid. I don't consider that a particularly big expense. I mean, that's not bad. But you go around and say, "Oh yeah, our cleaner's round today." You've got a cleaner, you bastard.
Yeah, posh bastard.
Yeah. Oh, I miss our cleaner. She retired. Well, she was already retired, but she retired even more.
She retired, so she was old.
She was, she did it for a bit of extra money and sort of like a bit of extra money to top her pension up. And then when she got too old to do that, she retired further and stopped doing that.
We don't do things like that. If we need a cleaner, we get an au pair. You know.
Aren't au pairs like specifically for? I thought they were specifically for like pregnancy.
Au pairs? No, they take care of your kids.
Oh, for some reason I thought an au pair was specifically for like.
And then you drop all kinds of other shit on them. Be like, hey, do the laundry, cook the food. You know.
Yeah, you can look after the kids. You cook the kids' food, but while you do that, you cook me food as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
The Danish way.
It's the Danish way. The Danish way. There's one subclass of Danish citizens who are just the cleaners. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The subclass.
These class. Oh dear. Oh dear. See, Denmark isn't all bells and roses.
It's all fun and games, dude. All fun and games.
Yeah.
So people on the podcast or the people that actually listen to this will learn over time that you shouldn't take anything that come out of my mouth too seriously.
Mate, if Pill took the things we said seriously on the podcast, we'd been in trouble a long time ago. We'd been investigated by the police and all sorts by this point. I know. No, if people actually listen to, if people believe most of the things that we say on podcasts, like we'd be screwed.
Well, podcast and games night.
Oh yeah, and games night. Yeah.
Vlogs and so on and so forth. Dude, I've made videos where I've said things that could have gotten me cancelled today. Like that was more. I wouldn't say okay, but you know.
At the time, it was sort of like.
Yeah.
Accepted at the time.
Yeah. And then they're like, but Zaber, have you then deleted them videos and those live stream, highlights? And no, I have not. I don't give a shit. So
I don't. If something was the culture and was accepted as part of culture at the time, I don't think it's reasonable to punish somebody for what they said at the time. If that was sort of acceptable at the time, I don't think it's punishable. What you can is look at what they're doing now, and if they are still, holding those, if they still hold like those attitudes or so forth, and they're sort of doing the same thing, then it's a problem. But you can't crucify people for something they did 20 years, something they said 20 years ago, if that's what everybody was saying at the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. If that was the case, that if we had to start doing that, we'd have to start, segmenting history and deleting things out of records and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. You look at any comedy series from like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the amount of jokes that you couldn't do today, the amount of were acceptable targets back then, you couldn't do. That's why it's important to be able to recognise it's of its time. Mm-hmm. And accept that things have changed and respond to and adapt, to what the modern world and compare and judge people what they do today by today's standards, not what they did 20 years ago by today's standards.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, like some of those, like you said, some of the comedies and stuff like that, 20 years back, where they said things that wouldn't be, tolerated today. Today, some of them jokes are some of the funniest ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think there's a case of taking the. I don't know how this in other countries do it. In the UK, we've very much got a culture of taking the piss, which I don't know if there's a concept. Yeah, I don't know if there's a concept that sort of translates in other countries as well. Other countries do a similar thing. I
That
know
was where I was conceived, by the way.
what taking the piss.
Yes.
um, but I know it's not a particularly American thing. I don't think parents Brits we very much do self-deprecating humour. We'll take the piss out. We'll basically put ourselves down to others for the sake of comedy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And if you have a good friend, you'll do the exact same thing to them. You'll basically insult them for fun. But it's fine because you know each other well enough that you can do that sort of thing.
yeah. Because you know each other so well that you know it's not with negative intent.
It's not meant. But it's because you do it because you like them. Taking the piss, you only take the piss out of your mates. You don't do it out of somebody you don't. You don't do it out somebody you don't like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that. I said, no, it's a culture in the UK. I'm not sure if that translates to other countries if they do similar things.
We do it here too.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's actually a more universal thing than it is. But I just that people. I mean, I see people put on Reddit. I'll put particularly a lot of British videos end up on Reddit, and they'll people like basically taking the piss out of somebody, and the comments be like, "Oh, how cruel is this? And what friends are these?" and stuff like. You clearly have no idea how we work. How it works.
But that's the thing though about because if this is posted online for everyone to see, everyone has an opinion about it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want people having an opinion about what it is that you do or what it is that you say, don't post it online.
Yeah.
People are allowed to have their opinions about it. I just don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Exactly. But the flip side of that is when you see something online, except that it's from it could be from an international audience, and think to yourself, well, what does that audience? How does that audience see and respond to it? Yeah. And joke about it. You can't apply your personal worldview to how every other person in the country works. There's humour that you won't get because it's how another country's humour works, but not over here.
I've been taught a saying, roughly translated into English. It's not what you say, it's how you say it and who you say it to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we basically have the same say.
Yeah.
Basically. I think there's multiple layers to, particularly the Brits. We tend to be quite sarcastic, and we tend to we can say the same phrase about 5 different ways that mean the same words, but depending on context and how you say it, it's either a friendly bit of banter, an insult, an observation. There's so many different ways you can say the same thing. I just think that I think that's actually I say it's British, but I think it's actually a European thing. I think it's just how we tend to do our humour. I don't think most people are as serious as others. But I'm not so multicultural.
I'm fairly sure there's other countries around the world where they don't practice these things,
Yeah, or not commonly anyway.
Yeah.
But again, another rant for the day.
Yes.
Rant today.
Number two.
We've done 34 minutes. We've not actually. This Scars be proud. We've been at this 34 minutes and actually discussed anything game related. He'd be so proud of us. He'd be so proud of us right now.
We actually did to a certain extent. I said I hadn't played any games. That is, talking about games.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Actually, that's not entirely true. Because yesterday I bought to whoever is listening to this epic podcast, remember to check out Steam. There's an autumn sale. Because I ended up playing Portal 2, I ended up buying Portal 1. I didn't get to go through the whole thing, but I played for about an hour, a little over an hour, I think.
Which, to be fair, Portal 1 is so short, you're probably a good third of the way through it.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, so that's what I've played.
It's very different to Portal 2 because we had this conversation yesterday, and I said today, what you'll find is Portal 2, they changed everything about Portal 1, they made it better. So Portal 1 feels quite a step back, but the core mechanic is still there.
Yeah, it is, and the puzzle aspect of it is actually pretty good too.
Oh, the puzzles are good between both. The scale is smaller, But
Yeah.
Portal 1 was made by a lot smaller team. It was a mod, I think, for Half-Life originally that called Nubucular Drop, and the team who made that had this came up with the idea of the portal gun and stuff like that, and Valve liked it, basically hired them to come make a proper little game, and they made. And Portal was released as part of the Orange Box. Do you remember the Orange Box coming out many years ago?
Yeah.
Portal
with
1,
Team Fortress and Half-Life. Yeah.
Episode 1. Yeah, Half-Life 2, Episode 1. Was it Episode 2? Might be Episode 2. But yeah, they released it like as a you bought the Orange Box, you built it for Half-Life, but you got Team Fortress and Portal thrown in as like a B-side, and it got very popular at the point where it basically became its own game, where people basically launched a sequel to it and made its own game, and the sequel was such a jump up in scale and so forth. You could feel Portal was been made by a small team in terms like level design, scale, and so forth.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't expect going backwards and then the game being prettier and more awesome than the second one. That would be terrible, at least, if that would be the case. But for what I've seen, or for what I've played, pretty good. I'm gonna enjoy going through the rest of it.
Yeah, no, so it won't take you very long. Ends on a fantastic song. So, and more games
again on the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, ends on a really good song. Look forward to that. They actually, this is what I like about Valve as well. When they announced, so original Portal 1, the game ends, and this is a minor spoiler for Portal 1, but it's not exactly a dramatic ending because they changed it. So you get out, you escape. That's the ending of Portal 1. I know.
Oh no, you've ruined the game for me,
I've ruined
dude.
the game for you.
You've ruined the game for me, dude.
Zaber.
Oh,
you should have stopped me. I was giving you a heads warning. However,
some words hurt, you're not
going to playing anymore.
Nope. No, I'm going to ask for a refund.
Then when Valve decided to do a sequel, they changed the ending cutscene and patched the ending cutscene, and patched the game so the ending was different, so it made sense for Portal 2.
All right.
And most other game companies wouldn't do that. But Valve went down and actually changed the ending. So the ending you'll see at the end of Portal 1 is not the original ending. They changed it.
Okay.
So you'll see it when you get there. But enjoy the song.
But enjoy the song.
Enjoy the song. Enjoy the song.
That's what I'll be playing it for now. Just that one song, dude. You ruined the rest of it.
Mate, you'd laugh at. I've got the song on one of my playlists. I still listen to it. It's such a good song.
It's that good.
It's a real good song. Yeah, you'll know it when you see it. It was written by Jonathan Cochran, who's like he does a lot of game soundtracks and so forth. And he wrote the song. It's really good. It's really it's incredibly fun and bouncy and so forth. And yeah, it's very, very good. Because I'm gonna look forward to it. Yeah, you look forward to it. Because you're encountering GLaDOS pre-bitchiness when she was just an AI. And she lost, and she got all the bitchiness in the second one. But this will make sense why she didn't like you in the second one.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's a good game. Good game. So, well, I have been playing a game as well. Again, Scaz will be very glad to hear that I've been playing, and it actually is because I saw him yesterday. We had coffee. So I've been playing a game called Control, which is a game by Remedy.
He spoke about that one. He spoke about that game.
Yeah, it's a game that we've definitely mentioned it on podcasts. I don't think we've ever properly delved into. Scaz mentioned talking about it. I've definitely mentioned it on podcast previously, but we never did a proper talk about it.
All right,
and it's a really fun game. It's made by Remedy, and Remedy have sort of got going with this I've a love hate to Remedy. I liked Max Payne 1 and 2. Before they sort of left and lost it. I didn't get on with Alan Wake. I didn't particularly enjoy Alan Wake. Actually, I really disliked Alan Wake. I just found it a slog, and I didn't like the character very much. So I struggled with Alan Wake. Apparently, though, I got quite far through it because I saw Scaz about it and how far I got. And apparently, I was nearly at the end of the game. I never realised. But I saw drop the game. But I didn't get on with Alan Wake.
Never played it.
No, I didn't. I didn't like the mechanics of it. I found the mechanics very clunky. Because it's the combat in it is basically, you know, how like the original Resident. Have you ever played the original Resident Evil?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil.
Yeah. So the original Resident Evil, the combat was a bit clunky and actually quite dealing with zombies was, unless you knew the tricks, was quite difficult. Unless you knew the tricks, and they gradually, as time on, made it easier.
Yeah.
Alan Wake is like that. The combat is a little bit clunky. If you know how to deal with things, it's not too bad. You can't just. You've got to be conservative. You've got to be somewhat conservative with your ammo. You can't just waste it because you can easily waste your bullets if you're not careful. It's just. Yeah. I just didn't get on with it. I did not get on with the game, and I just don't know why I'm playing this game. So I dropped it. So I picked up Controller. I had lots of good things about Control and the gameplay and that. And I have to say, the combat is really good. It's absolutely wonderful. It's it's clearly heavily inspired by. Have you heard of the SCP Foundation? Have you heard of it?
SCP Foundation.
Yes.
I know of a game called SCP, but I don't know about the SCP Foundation.
So the SCP Foundation basically started as a creative writing website. So basically, this group of people created this fictional organisation called the SCP, who were a group who were basically because SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect.
Yeah.
And basically, this group were there to look for and find strange things that happened in our world and basically like secure them and sort of prevent people actually. It's a bit like sort of like X-Files-esque and so forth. So the SCP, each sort of like what people did was they'd write an SCP report on an item that they found. So it might be something mundane like a beer can, but anyone who drinks from the beer can like disappears or something. Like weird stuff. Bit X-File-y, bit like Fringe. It's all like there's one which is like a TV studio that if you go into the TV studio you can't get out, you become part of the audience type thing. All weird sort of like strange ideas and concepts like that. And it became a creative writing thing. It's like sort of pretty free form and people like could vote and people could write these stories. Basically stories in the form of a report. So it'd be a report on describing the item, their investigations of it, but it'd be written like an official report. And from that, that's how you sort of got the story of it.
Okay.
And it became like this big, it's a fairly popular thing. It's got like 400 or 500 entries on it now. I'll put a link to the website in the show notes so you can see what it is. And it's full of these episodes. Some of them are really good. You can see some of them are quite sort of really interesting ideas and heavily inspired ideas. And there's some very talented writers on there. And it's all freeform. It's all like, open, people can put whatever they want there and so forth. That then led to obviously people making games based on it, and so forth. Alan Wake Control is heavily inspired by the SCP Foundation. I think they've actually said that's one of their main inspirations for, I believe. So Control takes place in this place called the Federal Bureau of Control. The Federal Bureau of Control is an organisation who are basically there to deal with strange things that happen. Strange, what they call objects of power or altered objects. Mundane things that have become, through the mechanism they don't understand, have started exhibiting strange behaviour. They think it could be down based on a collective psyche, like if you think about something enough, they think it could be based on urban legends. So there's an urban legend about something that can do something that can actually create an object of power. It's all theories like this. The Federal Bureau of Control was built to secure these objects, investigate them, contain them, and study them. And you basically are your name is Jessie Faden. You are a lass who's been guided to the Federal Bureau of Control, and when she gets there, she finds shit has hit the fan. The building's locked down. No one get in or out, but she managed to get in through with help. And something has happened. They call it the hiss. That has basically caused people to be took over, or like it's put like to a stupor where they can't sort of respond. And there's a few people like being able to protect themselves with what they call these like they've like one of their lead scientists built these devices that basically would protect you from the hiss, so you couldn't get affected by it.
Okay.
And you basically have to, and your goal is basically to work your way around and try and find what caused the hiss and how to stop it being a problem. Now, the other sort of concept of the control is you are what's called the director. So there's a person called the director, and they are basically there's this because the game is partly set in our world, it's partly set in the astral plane, which is like this other dimension, and there's an entity in there called the board who basically select a director, and basically the director is one of the few people who can use certain objects of power. And if other people try to use it, it can actually be problems. So there's like this telephone, like an old school like rotary dial telephone, and if you pick it up, you can talk to these outer worldy entities called the board, but only the person who's the director, who the board selects, can do it. Anyone else tries, they just go mad or die trying to speak to him.
It's like when you want to dial out a matrix.
Yeah, it is basically a way. And so Jessie finds herself, she basically goes into the building looking to find out, and she goes straight to the director's office and finds that it appears he shot himself. And there's a gun. And she picks up the gun, and picking up the gun, all of a sudden the gun like bounds, it gets like bound to her. And basically, and it gets attuned to her, and only she can use it. And basically, she then by default becomes the new director because only she can use this gun, and only directors can use this gun. And this gun itself is weird because it's outer worldly because it can like morph itself into different forms. When you fire, it basically like creates bullets itself. So you have no magazines or ammunition to pick up in this game. You literally, if you fire your gun, it'll just regenerate ammo by itself. Because the gun, that's what the gun does. It just makes ammo by itself.
Magic gun.
Yeah. And so the game is still split between her investigating the hiss and what's happened, and also like encountering objects of power, or altered objects, and retrieving them or bounding to them. And by doing that, she gains other abilities. And this is where the game starts becoming great because it's so intelligently designed. The first real ability you pick up is called launch, which is basically telepathy. Oh, sorry, not telepathy, telekinesis. Got that wrong.
Oh, yes.
And you can basically pick things up and throw them. Now, in most games, they wanted to do that sort of system. They'd make it so that you had to, like, aim at something to pick it up and then aim at something else to throw it. That's how most games would do it. Not Control. You literally press, and by default, I think by default it's the E key, by default. You press that key, and anything nearby that you could pick up just gets picked up automatically. You don't have to look or aim for it. If there's nothing nearby, you'll rip a bit of concrete out of the wall. You literally just rip something out of the wall, and you get this bit of concrete floating past you. And
Let me get this right. You just press E, and if there's something around, you don't even have to look at it. And you just get the things.
Yeah, it just picks it up, and it's there. Ready
it's made by a Danish guy. It has to be made by a Danish guy.
Where is Remedy based? They are. I'm going to quick look see where Remedy is based because they are European.
Probably not Danish, dude. Probably not Danish.
Well, you said that. Remember, you said about people who made Deep World Galactic were Danish.
Hitman. Oh, what?
Deep World Galactic was made by a Danish company.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that, but there you go. Remedy is based in Finland. They're Finnish. There you go. This is where
that almost counts. They're part of Scandinavia, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're very close. They're in the area, aren't they?
Yeah.
Vaguely. Okay, there you go.
Close enough.
close enough.
Yeah, Scandinavian brethren. Close enough.
Scandinavian brethren. So yeah, Finnish game company. Yeah. So they yeah. So but there you go. That's why then. But it's just it's just a simple system because otherwise launch would be a very frustrating mechanic. But by making it so that you can just pick up anything nearby or rip a bit of concrete out of the wall, and it's there, and then you just have to look roughly in the direction of an enemy, and it'll just get a lock-on signal. As long as you've got that signal, you hit button, it'll just fire and it'll just hit them. And it's a guaranteed hit. If it's locked on, it's going to hit them. You know, even if they're behind something, it'll go through it to hit them. That's so neat. It basically makes launch like your main power. Which has its own separate energy bar. But it just makes it so fun. It's literally you'll launch. I think my only sort of criticism of the game is that some of your base powers are so good, you have no real need to change them. So launch, you get it early on in the game, and you'll be using it all the way through to the final boss because it's just so good. There's no real need to use other powers. You have other powers as well. There's one which is like, and not that the other powers are optional. You don't have to get them, but they are useful. There's one that's called Shield. Basically, if you activate it, you just surround yourself with like bits of stone and stuff. So if anyone shoots at you, they hit the stone instead, and not you. You basically make like a forced little like a concrete wall around you. There's one where you can like seize control of enemies. You'll basically take them over, and that's a prime example of one that doesn't work very well. You can only take enemies over when they're low health. The trouble is, once you upgrade your other abilities, like your gun and your thing, you'll be killing enemies so easily, you'll very rarely get them to the stage where you could take them over. Because you just like, they'll be too high health for you to take over, and then you'll throw a block of concrete at them and they're dead. So that seize ability, after a certain point, I basically didn't use it because I was just killing things too easily. There's also the other sort of ability you get quite late on, which is useful, is levitate. And again, this is a great example of also games with smart design. So in most games, you would levitate. If you activated it, you probably get about 3 or 4 seconds levitation, and then you just be back on the ground. Maybe less than that, and you could upgrade. You'd be able to upgrade it perhaps, and towards the end, you'd be quite powerful. In Control, the basic levitate lasts for fucking ages. And you can float about for ages, and so it becomes useful immediately. And you'll basically spend a lot of the game just towards the end. You'll just spend a lot of the game just floating about above people, just throwing concrete blocks at them. And launch is also great right towards the end. You get great, so you can pick up 3 things at once and have launch all 3 simultaneously. It's amazing. It's like it's launching 3 blocks of concrete like a machine gun. It's hilarious. Likewise, your gun can also have different forms. So you can have like 2 forms that you can switch between on the fly with a mouse click, with a button on the keyboard or your mouse. But you can also go at any point, go into your inventory and change them. So those forms are your different weapons. So the first one you unlock is I think it's called Charge, which is like a shotgun. Scatter, sorry, it's like a shotgun. There's one size shotgun. There's one that's like a machine gun. There's one that's like a grenade launcher. There's also one called Pierce, which is like a sniper rifle. It doesn't zoom very much, and it has to charge up, but it will do a huge amount of damage when it hits. And you only get perhaps 2 shots of it. In general, though, the basic gun, grip as it's called, is so good and so useful and so well balanced as a weapon. I use that all the way to the end, pretty much. I grip and Pierce. Pierce was good for long range, taking aim out in one hit. Grip was up close. I played Scatter for a little while. I played the machine gun for a little while. I found them not particularly useful. I never bothered with the machine gun. I locked it but never bothered doing it. So that is probably perhaps my sort of, and it's a real minor criticism of the game because the game is fantastic. Milfo is that there's no real point to using the other devices really. You can also later on you can program the grenade to throw them back at the enemy. Hilarious. With your launch ability. You also have you have also your main sort of missions, which is the story. I like the story. The story is really good. The story is really interesting, and it all ties together. There's the reason why you're there, the reason why you got there. All sort of links together nicely with your past and so forth. Some of the side missions are pretty good. Some are quite tricky in terms of, there's not which are like hunt things down and find things. They can be quite tough. just trying to find the little things. I struggled with one which is like find these like mole growths, but they look very similar to just normal moles. It's really hard to find. I had to use a guide to find what they were because I could not see them. Um, there's also some like you take these what we call board contracts because this outer worldy board place people will basically give you rewards if you like kill certain of our enemies and stuff. I think I had like 2 of those in. I never really made use of them. I didn't find them particularly beneficial. They give you like upgrades for your guns and stuff, which are like these relics you can slot in to upgrade your guns. Didn't use those. I picked up were better than whatever they gave me in my experience. And there were a couple of other sword measures that basically I had no interest in. But character-wise, really enjoyed all the characters. Jessie Faden is a brilliant protagonist. She's so well written as a character, and those other characters you meet are so well written and interesting and strange and so forth. The game itself is a real strange place. And one other thing I love about the game, it's got live action sequences in it that you'll like record it. You'll come across these like I suppose training videos, and they're basically they've literally made a set and got actual actors. Well, the actors are the main actor you see in the game in the films is he plays a character called Casper Darling. He's actually the voice actor for Alan Wake. Same actor, he's their voice actor. So they use him in the game as like he does these live action sequences and stuff. And it's just I love live action sequences in games. It adds such a bit of fun to them. It's like the old Red Alert games.
Yeah.
And it's so well put together. It's so interesting. It's a bit Metrovania style that you can go back to areas. You'll get better. Like you'll find areas that are locked off with security cards, and as you get better skills, you can go back and open them up and get into them and find things and stuff. Mostly storyline related stuff. Very rarely anything game changing, but you can get a lot of stuff. But no, it's a real good game.
I need to try it out. I've been meaning to play it for like forever, and
Same.
I think it was. I don't know if it still is, but it was part of the Game Pass.
I believe it was. Yes.
Yeah.
I got it through Humble Bundle. It was I'm subscribed to Humble Bundle, and it's one of the free games they gave away.
Oh, nice.
And it's the Ultimate Edition as well. That comes with the DLC.
Yeah, it's. I just checked when you started talking about it. I checked Steam, and it's on sale right now for €10 for the Ultimate Edition.
That's a bargain.
That would be around what, 8 or 9 quid, UK? Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I remember in terms of Steam, I think the euro to dollar conversion is the same. So if it's like €10, it's also $10.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah,
it's cheap. It's cheap.
I might actually get it.
I really recommend it, Zaber. I've had it sat in my library for such a long time, and I must play that game. And I feel it's just me, fuck it, I'm going to play Control. I've had it sat installed for such a long time as well. It's one of the games that I kept meaning to play. But yeah, it's when you occasionally you'll get that game which you'll play, and every sort of like you'll just be like doing something else, think, I can't wait to get home and play more of that game or more of this game, and I'm just gonna go play for a couple of hours in that game and so forth and come back. You know, and it's like that. I don't get it very much these days, but it's like I literally would. It's a game I'd quite sit for hours playing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. It was a very good game, really good game. So very much.
I love games like that where you feel like you can't you can't leave the game, you can't take a break, or when you are actually taking a break, you're like, I gotta play this game again. I know for a fact that when my daughter comes home again, we're gonna be playing a game. A new one that we've been dying to play. It just came out not too long ago. It's part of the Yakuza series.
Oh, Yakuza, yeah.
Yeah, Yakuza, yeah, sorry. They kind of branched off to another name, Like a Dragon. I believe it's something like The Man Who Erased His Name or something like that. We've played through all the games so far. all of them, and now this one's come out, and me and my daughter are like, yes, we gotta play this.
Oh, I
We
can't
just
wait.
know
Can't wait to hear you
we
talk
just
about it.
yeah we just noticed it. So she was home. She's just been home this weekend until it's Wednesday. No, it's Thursday.
Thursday
Till
today.
yesterday. Yeah. So she was home until yesterday. Yeah. um, and I think we noticed it Sunday or Monday or something like that. It was part of the Game Pass on the Xbox. It was like, oh, we had this on our wish list. I've saved so much money from games that I had on my wish list that I didn't, got through the Game Pass instead.
Yeah.
Um, we're so looking forward to that. I can't wait. But it's what usually those games are like, I don't know, multiple weekends for us to go through them because
I can't wait to hear you talk about it.
yeah. Probably gonna be next time then. I'll be able to talk about some. Looking forward to it though. Those games are absolutely amazing.
No, look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I had Xbox Game Pass. I liked Xbox Game Pass. Unfortunately, because it was done through the Windows Store on my PC, it bugged out, and basically I could not install anything from it.
That's weird.
And I tried. Was it installed? Couldn't run it. So basically, I couldn't get the games either install or run, one or the other. And I tried all the fixes online to try and get this to work. To try and get it worked because it worked for about 2 or 3 weeks and then just stopped working. And I had several games on there I was trying out using and playing through it, and I just couldn't get it to work. And looking down, like it appeared to be a fairly common issue. That include reinstall the Windows Store, reinstall Xbox, reinstall all this stuff, unload it, and you have to not just uninstall it, but dig deep into your registry, delete certain keys to make sure it's dead. No, nothing worked. And the final response was reformat your PC, and it's like I ain't doing that. That's not worth it. At that stage, it's not worth it. As much as I enjoyed it, so if I had an Xbox, I would have Game Pass. But as I don't own any console, I won't do it. So, yeah, but I like Game Pass while I had it.
I'd say I'd go as far. I get the best out of both worlds by having the Game Pass because some of the games are available on PC as well. So if there's something that I'd rather play on the PC rather than the Xbox, which is, usually what happens nowadays after I got a new machine, I don't tend to play on the Xbox too much anymore. Only when my daughter's home because a lot of the games we play, we can play on that, and that's hooked up in her room right now. So yeah. But yeah, having the Game Pass absolutely amazing because some of the games I can play on the PC. Annoying bug though that you've had, a really annoying bug that would have pissed me off. I understand the whole. I don't want to reformat my PC. I'm OCD enough though that I probably would have done. If there's something wrong with my machine, I'm so OCD that I would probably have done it.
It's just I treat my machine so much to get it how I like it. I just can't be faced to do it all again. I'll do it when I build a new PC, and I just I don't do all that. I have to say I've got one of the other things that I met with Skaz just to have a coffee, and he very kindly gave me my Christmas present early.
Ooh.
And he very kindly brought me a Apple TV. Very kind of him. So I've got that set up because I've been planning to get one. I met him a few months ago, so I'm going to get myself an Apple TV. He said, "Don't get yourself an Apple TV. See what happens at Christmas." Oh, okay then. But Apple TV, you can install Steam Link, and because my office here, my office here, and where my house is all networked, all on the same network.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to plug into my network, and I was actually to Steam Link, and I was able to sit in my living room playing games running on my PC in my living room.
Oh, nice.
So, because obviously you've not seen my place, so the office is quite. It's not. I mean, it's not a long walk, but it's a bit. It's outside my office. It's not in a building outside. So if it's pouring down rain and stuff, and it's a wooden. It's a log cabin basically. So it's nice and comfortable, but it's not that way. It's not brilliant inside, not like a house. So it does get cold in here.
Okay.
And even with a little heater on, it gets quite cold. When it gets down, if it gets down to like sort of like minus figures, it's basically not. You can't work out here very well. Um, so that basically sort of like meant that sort of game time. I basically have to suffer to play a game. But now I can link up to the PC can sit here running, and I can just sit there and I can play it on my TV. Happy days.
But what? So what do you like when it's hooked up to your Apple TV? How do you control the game then?
So I need to buy. We tried it yesterday with a PlayStation pad, and it worked fine.
Oh, nice.
The Apple TV. I have got a Stadia pad from when we used to use Stadia, which was a good game system. But they released a patch to the pad to make it Bluetooth like mode, and
Okay.
that patch bricked my pad.
Oh,
So I can't
that
use
sucks.
I can't use the Stadia pad. Nothing really recognises it anymore. So we borrowed the PlayStation 4 pad from my parents' house next door. Borrowed that PlayStation 4 pad because they have PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
and that worked straight away, no problem. I was able to load the games up, play it. I was interestingly, I couldn't play Control, but I think that's because I disabled controller input, so ignore the controller.
Oh, yeah,
Which,
yeah.
if you disable that, well, of course you're going to be able to play the game. But I was able to play another game which launched it, and it worked straight away. Had to do cool trick things to make it play because one issue I do have is my monitor I use at home is ultra wide,
Hmm.
whereas obviously the TV is a normal widescreen,
Yeah.
so it tends to letterbox it. And when you launch a game, what happens is because the game thinks it's running on an ultra wide monitor, the game might be set to show a widescreen resolution. Because if it's an ultra wide monitor, it like basically you get letterboxing on both sides and the
Yeah.
top as well, so you get like a black screen all the way around. Found a workaround for that, which worked, and that was fine. I could play the game normally. Um, but that was yeah. It was just I was thrilled just on playing a game running on my PC, which is the other side of the house, as it were, through like 100 meters of cable, which I know is 100 meters is nothing for electricity. Or data. It's not exactly far, but it's still
Yeah.
just nice to be able to like, oh, I can just control PC. So now all I just need to do is now set a preset so I can remote start it, remote shut it down from my laptop, so I can actually log my laptop in, remote start the PC, load up Steam, play the game, and then shut the PC down again.
What was it called again? Steam what? Steam
Steam
Link?
Link. Yeah.
Steam Link. I need to check. I have the what's it called? The what the hell is that one called? The GeForce equivalent thing
Oh,
box.
GeForce Now.
That's the service. I have a box like you have your Apple TV. I have a box.
Yeah.
Um, people know what it's called. I can't remember right now. My brain's mush. Uh, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I have that one. Maybe the Steam Link is on that too.
So Steam Link, because Steam Link used to be a piece of hardware. Because I owned an original Steam Link bit of hardware that you plugged into your TV, and it came with a Steam controller.
Yeah.
The hardware basically proved not very popular, so now you can download Steam Link, but you can download it on like any Apple device or Android device, just as an app. You can download it on your phone. You can
Oh,
play.
okay. Well, then it should work in there because it runs off Android. I think.
Then yeah,
I have
if you access the
I have an app store and everything.
if you can access I would just say if you can access like the Google store, then you're probably
Mhm.
right. I tried using it on my TV because my TV has got its own little app store as well, but it hasn't got Steam Link on it. It had Steam Link on it, but it didn't work very well on the TV. That's probably the controller, to be fair. But yeah,
Okay.
no, it worked, and there was a bit of latency, but not that bad. It was playable. There was definitely
Yeah.
a slight delay in the controller to move into what happened on screen. But after a while, you adapted to it and didn't notice it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's definitely
It's
playable.
this. It's the same with GeForce now. I've had that on the device I have in the. I don't know. I can't. Why the hell can't I remember what it's called? But I have it on there, and I've tried playing games on it.
Let's have a look for it.
Hooking up a controller for it. And there's a ever so slight delay, but it's so tiny. It's not like the games are unplayable.
Shield, GeForce Shield.
That's the one. That's the Shield. But yeah, I have that one.
Oh, fantastic.
That was actually due to like when I went to the UK and visited you guys, and Skaz was showing me his Shield.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's cool. Because before in my living room, I had some apps or some streaming services will run through my Xbox. Then there's a few Danish streaming services that used to work on there but didn't anymore. And then they used to work on the TV, but then they discontinued the app. And then you had to get a one of those Chromecast, and I was like, dude, all of a sudden I had 4 different devices hooked up to my machine or
Yeah.
up to my TV that I had to swap between depending on what we had to see. I was like, no, just no.
Yeah.
Get one of them shields, because I had a Raspberry Pi as well hooked up. I was like, enough.
Yeah.
Get the shield, hook that up. We use it for everything now.
Yeah.
That runs everything.
That's my sort of thing. That's what I like. Everything in one place.
Yeah.
It's why I buy games on Steam that I already own and I've got the discs for. It's because I can't be asked to download, reinstall them again. I was like, I'll have it on Steam. It's in one list then.
Yeah.
It's why I do that still. It's why I'm not a great fan. I don't tend to use many other game services. So I have got an Epic Game Store account. I've got an EA account as well. That I've not actually got anything on that. I've got it all through Steam.
Yeah.
I have I've got a Ubisoft, whatever it's called, account as well. But I try and avoid using because I just don't like them, truthfully. So
Yeah, so the Steam Link, do you have to pay for that service?
all free.
See, I love that, because that's the thing. I already have the Steam. I own all the games. I already have the perfect whatever thingy account. I already have the EA Origin thingy and all that shit. I have them all.
Yeah.
I have games on all of them. I own shit on all of them.
It literally streams on your PC. It just streams on your PC.
Yeah. The thing is though, like and I understand that, when you use the GeForce Now, you're then not hooking up to your normal PC. You're then hooking up to someone like a computer out there somewhere in the world,
the cloud.
that's then streaming it back to you, and therefore you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But if you have a machine that can drive all the games yourself, but you just want to sit in the living room and play it on the TV, then it's fucking awesome. Like,
that's
Steam Link.
Yeah, that's what Steam Link is. So a couple of credits for Steam Link. Ideally, it prefers wired connections over wireless. So ideally, your TV and your PC will be on the same network, like with connected with a wired connection. Ideally, you can do it over Wi-Fi, but you'll probably get a worse connection.
Everything in my house is wired,
Really?
with the exception of phones and tablets and stuff. Yeah,
smart man. I don't know why anyone wouldn't wire stuff. If it's something that doesn't move, wire it. If it's a TV, wire it in. It's quicker. It's better.
It adds reliability all the way. Because everyone's like, but you have Wi-Fi. Yeah, cool, but it's not reliable. Because speeds and Wi-Fi, they go like up and down all the time, and all of a sudden it craps out, and they're like, "Oh no, I was in the middle of a game." Just no.
Wi-Fi isn't particularly. Wi-Fi's not bad, but it's not particularly reliable.
I've had that happen. Like I used to play poker back in the day. Wi-Fi not reliable. Like if that cuts out in the middle of like a final table or something like that, and you're up for like a reasonable amount of monies, you're gonna get angry. You're gonna get angry if you get booted from the game.
Yeah. See, that's something we should do for games night. Not in this case, or when we do a 24-hour stream. There must be some like poker game you can play. It's not like a money-based game, just a fun type game. Must be some poker game. There's
Poker Night at Freddy's or something like that.
I know there was one called Poker Night at the Infantry, which you caught at the Poker Night at the Infantry, which was made by well, I know the company you can't buy it anymore because the characters in the game basically ran out the licenses for.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some Poker Night game you can play that we could do for like next 24-hour game stream. Perhaps we get in there like sort of few people and play poker for a few hours.
Sure. That'll be fun. That'd be very fun.
Perfect. Right, so is there anything else from yourself?
No, I think that's it. I'll be
Nice.
better prepared next time. I'll have shit to talk about, games and stuff.
Yep.
But all my time gets used on well, this time around I had the mic to be set up, and then I have my music to focus on, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finding time to do stuff is tricky now, isn't it? It's
Oh yeah, it's last 4, 5, 6 months have been pretty busy.
yeah.
Because I have a band as well, and we've been recruiting drummers and trying to recruit a singer and stuff like that. And a lot of that landed on me, or not. Well, I took it upon myself to handle stuff like that because so I've had a lot of stuff to do. So not so much time for games.
No, that is the trouble. Games, as much as we love games, being the hobby, it tends to be the thing that gets dropped first because I really need to focus on this and so forth, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I get that, but it shouldn't because gaming for me is one of those It's one of the. It's where I recharge my batteries.
Yes, agreed.
So if you go with stress in your life for too long, without doing the things that you like, you have to shove that away. Eventually, you'll be tapped out. You'll be out of energy. You won't work. You won't function properly. So you got to make time for the things and games. Yes, I know games are not something like that is super serious, but if it's something that recharges your batteries, it's important. It could be important. It's so it is for me at least.
Actually, I think games, because they tend to be a hobby that's no one else relies on you for, unless you're like in a guild or something, like a MMO guild or something. But like your band, for example, there are other people who rely on you for the band.
Yes.
So whether you class it as a hobby or not, I don't know if you do or not. If you feel like you just do it as for fun, or whether you do it to sort of like go and do gigs and stuff and get some money out of it. I don't know what you do with your band.
We have desires to go out and gig a lot.
Fantastic.
Record some music in studios and get it released.
So when will you be headlining Copenhagen?
That probably won't happen. So the way it is when you get to my age, and everyone has kids, well, it's gonna be almost a fact because unless you can play like 50 gigs a year almost, no one's gonna, unless you're really really good at producing and writing music, and you're really good at the whole me thing. Then you have to get really really lucky.
Are you like, have you got anything like on YouTube at all, like your music and stuff?
No. Not the new stuff. We're not even done with we have I think we have 12 tracks that are done in terms of writing the music, but we have no vocals for it. We have so we need someone to write all the lyrics and come up with song melodies and shit like that. So there's still only halfway done. We have demo tracks and stuff, but it's not accessible to anyone.
So people can't check you out yet.
No,
but in the future, hopefully.
Well, yeah, and I'm also trying to, when I have the time, work on a little project for myself. So I have plans on trying to get something done and get something released on my own as well at some point.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Well, we'll watch this space. We'll soon have Zaber at Glastonbury heading the line in the axe.
Nah, I don't think that just my own stuff. I think that's more in the sense of the fun of writing the stuff, the fun of being creative, and creating this piece of music and getting it out there on Spotify or wherever it goes, through DistroKid or something, and then just that. I don't think I want to take some of my own stuff, make it too serious. At least not to begin with. Maybe later on. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'd leave it at that. And then focus on other things with the band.
Let us know if everything happens, because I'd love to hear your stuff when it does.
All right, dude.
So, But yeah, so as we're saying, game tends to be the hobby you drop because it doesn't generally rely on other. No one else is relying on you a lot of the time. Whereas a lot of other hobbies are collaborative.
Yes.
So if you drop out of a band, you feel like you're letting people down.
Oh yeah.
So you tend
definitely.
to push that forward. So that's why game tends, unfortunately, as life gets on, you tend to push games to the back. And in my case, games like, oh, I would do some games, but I've got to finish editing that video off because I've not optimized my time properly, not got around to editing it properly, and that sort of stuff tends to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to now put more time to gaming than I used to. I'm sort of trying to put I tend to try and pick games that aren't unless I've got like a week off and I know I'm not doing anything, I tend not to pick a game that's going to take a long time. I try and look for games that are between sort of 10 and 15 hours long, because I've basically got a chance I can get them finished and I can play them in like I can play them in a couple of weeks. So Control is about 20 hours long, but I've been on holiday, so I've had time to play it. So I try and do that with games. Just to sort of give me a fighting chance. I tend to prefer a lot shorter games these days because I can actually get them finished. But it'd be a long time. It'd be a long time before I play the next, Elder Scrolls game, because that'll take me a long time to get through it. Having said that, now I can couch play games. I'll probably do more of it because I can now. Because you get home of an evening, it's like, can I be asked to go all the way to the office, unlock the office, set everything up, just play a game for a couple of hours and have to shut it all down and go back? But if I can just start the TV, remote start the PC and load up a game there, I'll probably spend more time gaming now. So
well, that's good. I mean, if it's I understand the whole not wanting to go out in a like a really cold office and freeze your ass off, trying to enjoy a game, and you end up not enjoying it because you're freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
Being more comfy in your living room, playing the game on your television makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And we got to remember to do the things that make us happy.
Exactly.
It's important. It's important.
It is. Don't forget to you're absolutely right. Don't sacrifice your hobby. You need to have that time to de-stress yourself. You're absolutely right, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that little public safety announcement. I think it's time to end this evening. So I want to thank everybody who has kindly joined us this evening, our Twitch viewers and our YouTube viewers. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you've enjoyed, you can check us out on our next podcast, which is going to be slightly different. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 6th of December. This is due to work commitments. We've had to switch around a little bit. We'll be doing our pre-Christmas podcast, and then a couple weeks later, you'll get the mysterious Christmas podcast, which may appear to be pre-recorded, and will sound like it's pre-recorded, but I can assure you'll be totally live. Yes, indeed, yeah. We won't be pre-recording it at all. And there might be a special guest.
What guests?
Oh, I'm not going to say anything yet because it's not. But there might be a special guest on the Christmas one. Watch this space.
I like guests.
Yeah.
I like guests.
So look out for that. You can join us on our next games night, which will be the 7th of December, which will be on the Thursday at 8:30. You can check out my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/SuffixRam, and you can check the podcast out on its Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RanNerds, or youtube.com/RanNerds. And we're very hopefully shortly, it's been created, I'm sure it'll work out to stream to it multiple times. We should hopefully have a Kick channel start. It's created, but we'll hopefully stream to that soon as well.
Yes.
You can have our website out, wellness.co.uk. And once again, thank you for joining. From me, the SuffixRam.
Zabermoul.
We'll see you in just under a fortnight's time. Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.